Hello, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm John, an old YouTuber. Let's continue. I'm copy 200 gigabyte video away from there because this is close to full, like 700 gigabyte or 800. I need to buy another one soon with 5,000 gigabytes. That costs like $130. That's a lot of money when you don't have the money. But I use a shopping credit to do that. Yes, but let's just continue. It's 1:45, and the next is electricity. That's 21 pages. But I have all this PDF. I have it. Electricity there. No voltage. Got to take it out. Voltage, then electricity. Now the next is ampere there. Then I will just follow this list. 17, this is 18. Lithium. Maybe I should do lithium, zinc. Should do it like this. Do the metal, lithium. Do all the metal and then back to lithium battery. Could do that, I don't know, but I will think about that. So this will take a long time to do this. But I have nothing to do, so why not? My computer is too slow to play a computer game, so I cannot play a computer game the whole day anymore. I think I have to adjust this a little bit. Yes, good. But it's 2 p.m. I maybe like to drive American Truck Simulator after this. But I think I like to continue this because if I not just do it, I will never do it maybe. That's something I like to read it myself. Yes, let's activate the computer voice, then read to end of documents.
Electricity. Lightning strikes on a city at night. Lightning and urban lighting are some of the most dramatic effects of electricity. Electricity is the set of physical phenomena associated with presence and motion of matter that has a property of electric charge. Electricity is related to magnetism, both being part of the phenomenon of electromagnetism, as described by Maxwell's equations. Various common phenomena are related to electricity, including lightning, static electricity, electric heating, electric discharges and many others. The presence of an electric charge, which can be either positive or negative, produces an electric field. The movement of electric charges is an electric current and produces a magnetic field. When a charge is placed in a location with a non-zero electric field, a force will act on it. The magnitude of this force is given by Coulomb's law. If the charge moves, the electric field would be doing work on the electric charge. Thus we can speak of electric potential at a certain point in space, which is equal to the work done by an external agent in carrying a unit of positive charge from an arbitrary Lycosan reference point to that point without any acceleration and is typically measured in volts. Electricity is at the heart of many modern technologies, being used for electric power where electric current is used to energize equipment. Electronics, which deals with electrical circuits that involve active electrical components such as vacuum tubes, transistors, diodes and integrated circuits, and associated passive interconnection technologies. Electrical phenomena have been studied since antiquity, though progress in theoretical understanding remained slow until the 17th and 18th centuries. The theory of electromagnetism was developed in the 19th century, and by the end of that century electricity was being put to industrial and residential use by electrical engineers. The rapid expansion in electrical technology at this time transformed industry and society, becoming a driving force for the Second Industrial Revolution. Electricity's extraordinary versatility means it can be put to an almost limitless set of applications which include transport, heating, lighting, communications, and computation. Electrical power is now the backbone of modern industrial society. 1. Contents. History. Concepts: electric charge, electric current, electric field, electric potential, electromagnets, electrochemistry, electric circuits, electric power, electronics, electromagnetic wave, production and uses, generation and transmission, applications, electricity and the natural world, physiological effects, electrical phenomena in nature, cultural perception. See also notes, references, external links. History. A bust of a bearded man with disheveled hair. Thales, the earliest known researcher into electricity. Long before any knowledge of electricity existed, people were aware of shocks from electric fish. Ancient Egyptian texts dating from 2750 BC referred to these fish as the thunderer of the Nile, and described them as protectors of all other fish. Electric fish were again reported millennia later by ancient Greek, Roman and Arabic naturalists and physicians. 2. Several ancient writers, such as Pliny the Elder and Scribonius Largus, attested to the numbing effect of electric shocks delivered by electric catfish and electric rays, and knew that such shocks could travel along conducting objects. 3. Patients suffering from ailments such as gout or headache were directed to touch electric fish in the hope that the powerful jolt might cure a teen. 4. Ancient cultures around the Mediterranean knew that certain objects, such as rods of amber, could be rubbed with cat's fur to attract light objects like feathers. Thales of Miletus made a series of observations on static electricity around 600 BCE, from which he believed that friction rendered amber magnetic, in contrast to minerals such as magnetite, which needed no rubbing. 5, 6, 7, 8. Thales was incorrect in believing the attraction was due to a magnetic effect, but later science would prove a link between magnetism and electricity. According to a controversial theory, the Parthians may have had knowledge of electroplating, based on the 1936 discovery of the Baghdad battery, which resembles a galvanic cell, though it is uncertain whether the artifact was electrical in nature. 9. A half-length portrait of a bald, somewhat portly man in a three-piece suit. Benjamin Franklin conducted extensive research on electricity in the 18th century, as documented by Joseph Priestley, 1767, History and Present Status of Electricity, with whom Franklin carried on extended correspondence. Electricity would remain little more than an intellectual curiosity formula annia until 1600, when the English scientist William Gilbert wrote The Magnet, in which he made a careful study of electricity and magnetism, distinguishing the lodestone effect from static electricity produced by rubbing amber. 5. He coined the new Latin word electricus, of amber or like amber, from electron, the Greek word for amber, to refer to the property of attracting small objects after being rubbed. 10. Thigh's association gave rise to the English words electric and electricity, which made their first appearance in print in Thomas Brown's Pseudodoxia Epidemica of 1646. 11. Further work was conducted in the 17th and early 18th centuries by Otto von Guericke, Robert Boyle, Stephen Gray, and C.F. Dufay. 12. Later in the 18th century, Benjamin Franklin conducted extensive research in electricity, selling his possessions to fund his work. In June 1752 he is reputed to have attached a metal key to the bottom of a dampened kite string and flown the kite in a storm-threatened sky. 13. A succession of sparks jumping from the key to the back of his hand showed that lightning was indeed electrical in nature. 14. He also explained the apparently paradoxical behavior, 15, of the Leyden jar as a device for storing large amounts of electrical charge in terms of electricity consisting of both positive and negative charges. 12. Half-length portrait. Oil painting of a man in a dark suit. Michael Faraday's discoveries formed the foundation of electric motor technology in 1791. Luigi Galvani published his discovery of bioelectromagnetics, demonstrating that electricity was the medium by which neurons passed signals to the muscles. 16, 17, 12. Alessandro Volta's battery, or voltaic pile, of 1800, made from alternating layers of zinc and copper, provided scientists with a more reliable source of electrical energy than the electrostatic machines previously used. 16, 17. The recognition of electromagnetism, the unity of electric and magnetic phenomena, is due to Hans Christian Ørsted and André Marie Ampère in 1819-1820. Michael Faraday invented the electric motor in 1821, and Giorgio mathematically analyzed the electrical circuit in 1827. 17. Electricity and magnetism, and light, were definitively linked by James Clerk Maxwell, in particular in his On Physical Lines of Force in 1861 and 1862. 18. While the early 19th century had seen rapid progress in electrical science, the late 19th century would see the greatest progress in electrical engineering. Through such people as Alexander Graham Bell, Otto Blathy, Thomas Edison, Galileo Ferraris, Oliver Heaviside, Ennio Stedelijk, William Thomson, 1st Baron Kelvin, Charles Algernon Parsons, Werner von Siemens, Joseph Swan, Reginald Fessenden, Nikola Tesla and George Westinghouse, electricity turned from a scientific curiosity into an essential tool for modern life. In 1887, Heinrich Hertz, 843-44, 20, discovered that electrodes illuminated with ultraviolet light create electric sparks more easily. In 1905, Albert Einstein published a paper that explained experimental data from the photoelectric effect as being the result of light energy being carried in discrete quantized packets energizing electrons. This discovery led to the quantum revolution. Einstein was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921 for his discovery of the law of the photoelectric effect. 21. The photoelectric effect is also employed in photocells such as can be found in solar panels, and this is frequently used to make electricity commercially. In 1887, the first solid-state device was the Cat-Zwiska detector, first used in the 1900s in radio receivers. A whisker-like wire is placed lightly in contact with a solid crystal, such as a germanium crystal, to detect a radio signal by the contact junction effect. 22. In a solid-state component, the current is confined to solid elements and compounds engineered specifically to switch and amplify it. Current flow can be understood in two forms, as negatively charged electrons, and as positively charged electron deficiencies called holes. These charges and holes are understood in terms of quantum physics. The building material is most often a crystalline semiconductor. 23, 24. Solid-state electronics came into its own with the emergence of transistor technology. The first working transistor, a germanium-based point-contact transistor, was invented by John Bardeen and Walter Hauser Brattain at Bell Labs in 1947-25, followed by the bipolar junction transistor in 1948-26. These early transistors were relatively bulky devices that were difficult to manufacture on a mass production basis. 168. They were followed by the silicon-based MOSFET, metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, or MOS transistor, invented by Mohammed M. Attallah and Dawon Kang at Bell Labs in 1959. 28, 29, 30. It was the first truly compact transistor that could be miniaturized and mass-produced for a wide range of uses. 27, 165, 179 leading to the Silicon Revolution. 31. Solid-state devices started becoming prevalent from the 1960s, with the transition from vacuum tubes to semiconductor diodes, transistors, integrated circuit, IC, chips, MOSFETs, and light-emitting diode, LED, technology. The most common electronic device is the MOSFET. 29, 32, which has become the most widely manufactured device in history. 33. Common solid-state MOS devices include microprocessor chips. 34. And semiconductor memory. 35. 36. A special type of semiconductor memory is flash memory, which is used in A special type of semiconductor memory is force is very strong, second only in strength to the strong interaction. 39. But unlike that force it operates.
I was close to fall asleep again, then I clicked by mistake. I think we read again there. We read page by page.
A half-length portrait of a bald, somewhat portly man in a three-piece suit. Benjamin Franklin conducted extensive research on electricity in the 18th century, as documented by Joseph Priestley, 1767. History and present status of electricity, with whom Franklin carried on extended correspondence. Electricity would remain little more than an intellectual curiosity formula until 1600, when the English scientist William Gilbert wrote The Magnet, in which he made a careful study of electricity and magnetism, distinguishing the lodestone effect from static electricity produced by rubbing amber. 5. He coined the new Latin word electricus, of amber or like amber, from electron, the Greek word for amber, to refer to the property of attracting small objects after being rubbed. 10. Phi's association gave rise to the English words electric and electricity, which made their first appearance in print in Thomas Brown's Pseudodoxia Epidemica of 1646. 11. Further work was conducted in the 17th and early 18th centuries by Otto von Guericke, Robert Boyle, Stephen Gray, and C.F. Dufay. 12. Later in the 18th century, Benjamin Franklin conducted extensive research in electricity, selling his possessions to fund his work. In June 1752 he is reputed to have attached a metal key to the bottom of a dampened kite string and flown the kite in a storm-threatened sky. 13. A succession of sparks jumping from the key to the back of his hand showed that lightning was indeed electrical in nature. 14. He also explained the apparently paradoxical behavior, 15, of the Leyden jar as a device for storing large amounts of electrical charge in terms of electricity consisting of both positive and negative charges. 12. Half-length portrait. Oil painting of a man in a dark suit. Michael Faraday's discoveries formed the foundation of electric motor technology in 1791. Luigi Galvani published his discovery of bioelectromagnetics. demonstrating that electricity was the medium by which neurons passed signals to the muscles. 16, 17, 12. Alessandro Volta's battery, or voltaic pile, of 1800, made from alternating layers of zinc and copper, provided